Aloha, it's Kellie Hosaka. Today I wanted to talk about, do you want to be a leader? Whether you're in network marketing or you're in some other kind of business and you have maybe some employees, whatever the situation is, as an entrepreneur, I can tell you that being a leader is very different than being a boss or a supervisor in a job or a manager in a job. And I was that for 13, 14 years. But when I became an entrepreneur, it was so different because all of a sudden I didn't have a title. And I didn't have the carrot and the stick. I didn't have that, right? I didn't have the carrot to say, if you do well, then I'll give you a raise next year. And I didn't have the stick that said, if you don't do well, I'll fire you. I can fire you. That's the difference. When you're a employee and you're a boss or a supervisor, you have that on them. So they kind of have to do what you say. But what I found, as an entrepreneur, and especially in a network marketing business, is that didn't exist. That even doesn't exist as you move up in your company. Because as much as the pins are great, you'll find out very quickly that doesn't necessarily mean that you're the leader. John Maxwell says, leadership is influence. And if you think that leadership is about a title or in a pin or a level, then he says the question is, if you think you're a leader and you look behind you and nobody is following, then you're just taking a walk. And I remember reading that book and I just thought, wow. Because I realized that for me to learn how to truly gain influence, and then the challenge also is not only gain influence, keep influence. And continue to be influential, and not in a strategic way or anything like that, but just because people want to be with you, or people want to do what you've done, or maybe listen to your experiences. I thought, wow, that is huge, because I thought I was a leader and I got the pin and everything, and then I lost influence. And I thought, how does that work? It was so new to me to be an entrepreneur. I was so used to working hard. But working hard didn't always work after a while. And it certainly doesn't work when you're in a business that truly helping other people to succeed is the key. And so just because I could do it through push, 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 or force, 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 doesn't mean that somebody else could. And you know what? In the end, it did not feel good to me. And so I had to do a lot of introspection. I had to go in, and this is where I went on my huge personal development journey. And I started to really look at that. This mirror, this one. And I didn't like what I saw. And I decided, as Jim Rohn always says, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. And every day I would look at the mirror and I would cry because I didn't like what I saw. And I kept on working on myself. And I kept on doing my actions because it still produced results. But what I found over time, as I really truly worked on myself, was then as I did the actions, people were really following. And they were really wanting to follow. And I thought, wow, that feels good now. And I tell you this because it's so important if you really want to sustain everything that you have. And if you really want to become a leader of influence, it doesn't matter what the pin is. It doesn't matter even how much money you make. Yes, it does, but in the end, What matters is that you are doing the right thing for you and that you are doing the right thing for other people. You know, Zig Ziglar said, you will get everything you want when you help enough people get everything that they want. And if you take those statements to heart, you start to realize the value. And how you become valuable is that you're truly able to help somebody else and that you care about helping somebody else. And for me, it took me a long time to learn those lessons. And I'm still working on them today. You know, it's a constant working on yourself. But I can tell you that becoming a leader is so much easier when you're able to work with a team of incredibly successful people that have gone there before you. And that's, as you guys know, I always say this over and over, my number one secret is hang on. Hang on to mentors and coaches that have been where you want to go. So thanks so much for listening today. Take care. Aloha.